What crimes have they committed?
Trump?
Yeah, the ones in the Oval Office. What crimes have those people committed?
You want to look it up on Wikipedia? There's like a list.
Well, you made the sign, so I'm asking you.
It's true. I'm at a protest, though.
Yeah.
I don't need to know anything. I'm here for my community.
Okay, so you make a sign about people being criminals, but you don't know what you made it for?
All right, so
I make a sign supporting my community and the people in it.
Yeah.
And I'm not ashamed.
I know. You shouldn't be ashamed of your sign. I'm just asking what crimes they have committed.
I don't have to list them to you.
Might I?
You can simply look it up.
Have you done research?
It's all over the media.
Yeah, so I was just asking him, he's holding the sign, if he could just tell me what crimes people in the Oval Office have committed. You're holding it, so I thought maybe you could give it to me quickly.
I'm good.
What do you make of the fact that he was democratically elected, even won the popular vote? How does that make him a king?
It doesn't make him a king. It makes him a president, not a king.
Well, this is called No Kings. So what does that mean to you?
It means we got to get rid of him. He's not a king. It's a democratic process, and we've gone that route with him. Now he's acted like a king.
Can you give me a specific example?
Specific example? Well, there's a million of them all put together. There's no one example. It's exactly.
Just one or two?
It's more than one or two.
No, can you give me one or two examples?
Not off the top of my head. I mean, I can, I guess. I'm just at a loss of thought here on. There's a lot of things.
Okay.
I can't really.
Okay, well, thank you.
so what brings you out today?
No King's Day.
And why specifically are you out supporting No King's Day?
I think protest is important.
Why are you protesting?
How much time do you have?
A couple minutes. And what's the main reason you're out here protesting President
I don't
Trump?
agree with a lot of the decisions that are being made.
Is there any decision in particular you disagree with?
Okay, so I would start with, well, I don't even think it's appropriate for me to have this interview.
Welcome back. So let's jump right into the story for tonight. We have Trump essentially announcing that the ceasefire with Iran isn't happening anymore. And a reporter tries to essentially get him with a gotcha question. Now, we're going to be going through these videos, these stories, and then we are going to be having our first official Find the Insurrection watch party. Over 1,600 body cam footages have been released by the federal government, and we can see for ourselves. JM, great to see you in the chat. Okay, sorry, I was just checking to see if my buttons were on, and they weren't. Okay, so JM, good to see you in the chat. Great. He says good evening. So tonight we're going to be diving into a bunch of these stories, and then Mitch McConnell. There's a controversy with Mitch McConnell, and I want to explore that alongside you guys. All right, and I want to know what you guys think about what's going on with Mitch McConnell, and then we'll go into the J6 body cam footage and see if we can spot the insurrection. C. Davis, a first-time chatter. C. Davis, welcome to the party. Another Democrat who doesn't know what they're talking about. Exactly. Like, one of the things that concerns me about, the politics of today is that people don't care about the facts anymore. All they want is for their side to win, even if their side is pushing destructive policies. So we want to have intelligent conversations. Look, guys, I like to see myself as nonpartisan. Yes, I support MAGA and the Trump policies. But when it comes down to it, if something bad is happening, like what's going on with Mitch McConnell, because I'm going to go into some of the theories that are circulating, and one of Trump's allies is involved. And I like him so much, but he's stepping out to say things that I don't think would turn out to be to his favor if we find out that the contrary is the case. JM says China Mitch is now the Walking Dead. There's a bunch of memes that are circulating right now, essentially, and I saw a bunch of them, and I felt like, should I play this? They're funny, okay? They're funny, but is it respectful to the family or the community that surrounds this guy? Okay, it happened. It was the same thing with Joe Biden. Okay, while Joe Biden was in office, I made videos that essentially said, hey, this guy might just be a nice guy to his family. He might be like, I gave him some grace, okay? And that is what the left never gives us. And I've said many times over the last few days, let's not become the left, okay? Let's not become the left. Let's not use the tools that they use. All right. So thank you, JM. Thank you, C. Davis, and anyone else out there who's watching. Okay, feel free to to join the conversation. JM says it is funny, but yes, you agree. Okay, we agree, or I agree. I don't know if that's what you meant to say. We should give grace. Look, we should give grace. Now, I'm not saying that we should roll over and accept everything that comes down the pipe that the left pushes. No. We should give grace, but when the facts are in front of our eyes, we vote based on the facts. That's what I'm saying. We don't, engage in smears. We don't engage in lies. We don't engage in being facetious. Okay. No. I got you. Okay. JM, I got you. So I want us to kind of, be level-headed when we have these conversations. It's easy to really, really get upset, okay, and become really partisan, like hyper-partisan. And sometimes it feels like we're justified to be hyper-partisan when we watch what the left does routinely. Okay, like this interview that President Trump this press conference, all right? So let's listen to this, okay? President Trump just bodied a reporter from the New York Times who was trying a gotcha question. So let's listen to this.
The New York Times. Last month you said Iranian leaders...
Oh, here we go again. Guys, I need to buy a new computer. Okay, I need to buy a new computer. I just have to say it out loud now.
Very rational people, nice people to deal with, strong people, smart people. Today you said they were scum, sick people, and being led by sick people. What changed, and do you think...
I got to know them.
He got to know
I've said that about a lot. Now, when you say rational, I think they're much more rational than level 1, level 2. Level 1 is gone, level 2 is gone. This is level 3. I think they are more rational, but based on their actions over the last week or two, they're not doing a service to the people. And I think more than anything else is I got to know them, and I'm not sure I want to make a deal with them. We can play games, but I'm not sure I want to make a deal.
Yeah, so that was, hold on, are we done? Is that it? Yeah, so that was President Trump essentially responding to the reporter because, the left has gone from President Trump is a warmonger, and then he goes to, okay, we're making peace and the ceasefire. Oh, he didn't achieve anything. Oh, he's a coward. And so on. And then now it's like, okay, they broke the ceasefire by firing on civilian ships. We're bombing them now. Oh, I thought you said that they were great people to work with. All we ask these guys to do is to be consistent. That's all we asked them to do. Now, here's President Trump talking about the ceasefire.
Have any questions?
Mr. President, is the ceasefire over?
I'm gonna get a new computer, guys. Okay, so just give me some. I'm talking about giving the left grace. I hope you guys give me some grace. Okay, everything works until you go live.
Any questions?
Mr. President, is the ceasefire over? Is the ceasefire done? Is the MOU dead?
It's a very interesting question. To me, I think it's over.
Something weird is happening to my live stream.
I don't want to deal with them anymore. They're scum. You know what scum is? They're scum. They're sick people. They're led by sick people. And they're vicious, violent people. And if they had a nuclear weapon, they'd use it. As far as I'm concerned, it's over. I'll speak to our negotiators. They want to negotiate. They're good people. Steve Witkoff, Jared Kushner. But they have to come back to me. As far as I'm concerned, it's just a waste of time dealing with them. They're liars.
It's gonna work, okay, eventually, okay. And I'm not a conspiracy theorist, okay. I'm not gonna say, oh, the CIA is after my live stream. My live stream is too small for the CIA to be to be interested in my live stream. JM says Trump is done with them. Well, yeah, he's done with them. The bombings have restarted. We're going to see some footage from the Middle East, and then we're going to talk about essentially what a Democrat has said. Okay, so here's a video. So Trump has announced that the ceasefire is over. Okay, so what does that do, or how does that affect the position of Congress? How does that affect the how hostilities are going to be carried out? Okay, when that ceasefire was announced and people were losing their minds and saying Trump betrayed Israel, Trump betrayed the Iranian people. Oh, look, Marco Rubio isn't happy. Look at, he wasn't smiling during Trump's announcement of the ceasefire. I thought to myself, I think we should understand history enough to know that the Iranians will not honor the ceasefire. Someone on their side is going to break the ceasefire and hostilities are going to commence. I said, let's give it some time. And I think I told Intergalactic Wrangler, during that stream, I said, look, let's watch, but I think that the ceasefire isn't going to last. And what do we know? They started firing on civilian ships. Now, what does the left do whenever bad actors like Iran act like bad actors that they are? They blame Trump. They say, well, Trump bombed them in the first place. Excuse me, these guys have been attacking U.S. interests for 47 years. What are you talking about? And that's why I keep saying these guys have to be honest with their breakdown of the facts. Now, here's someone who says that he's a Democrat. So this post says it took the war with Iran to finally wake some Democrat voters up. Democrat voter says, I voted for Kamala Harris and I thought she would be a great president until. Let us hear what he has to say. Hope this plays properly.
I voted for Kamala Harris and
this is absurd. This is absurd. Let's see. What should we do? What should we do? What should we do? I'm going to open a new browser. Hold on. I'm going to open a new browser and see if I can play this on a new browser. Just give me a second. Give me a second, because this is absurd.
Thought she would be a great president until very recently when I saw her comments about the war in Iran. Yes. I'm going to play some clips from before the election and from after the war. See what you think.
Foreign country do you consider to be our greatest adversary?
I think there's an obvious one in mind, which is Iran. Iran has American blood on their hands.
Okay.
This attack on Israel, 200 ballistic missiles.
Okay.
What we need to do to ensure that Iran never achieves the ability to be a nuclear power, that is one of my highest priorities.
So if you have proof that Iran is building a nuclear weapon, would you take military action?
I'm not going to talk about hypotheticals at this moment.
That video is from before the election. She's talking about Iran has American blood on their hands, pointing out the fact that Iran has attacked Americans multiple times. Over 1,000 Americans have been killed since 1979 when the Islamic Republic stole the government of Iran. So she's aware. She's aware of the threat that Iran poses and promising to be strong on national security.
What's the message to Iran?
Don't.
As President Biden said, just don't.
Exactly. One word. Pretty straightforward.
They don't believe you guys.
That's Kamala Harris as vice president, supporting the Biden policy against Iran, understanding that Iran is a serious threat. But what happens when Trump takes action against Iran? What does Kamala have to say now? Let's take a look.
When it comes down to it, is that if we want to stop Donald Trump with this random decision that he has arrived at, then Congress must act, and Congress must act immediately. The American people do not want our sons and daughters to go into this unauthorized war of choice, and I unequivocally oppose it.
This random decision that Donald Trump has arrived at. Like, this is just out of the blue. Nobody could have seen this coming. All Donald Trump's choice. Forget the fact that every president, every administration since 1979 has understood the threat posed by the Islamic Republic occupying Iran and turning that country's resources into a war machine against the United States and our allies around the world. Forget all of that. This is just Donald Trump's choice. And the American people don't want it. Of course, the American people don't want to go to war. We don't know any better. We're not paying attention to the nitty-gritty details of international foreign policy. We don't know how many Americans have been killed. We don't remember how many embassies have been bombed. We don't know that the Iranian school children wake up every morning chanting death to America like the Pledge of Allegiance. You're the expert. You're supposed to be the leader that helps us understand these complex issues. And you're playing politics with it. Of course, war is unpopular. Of course. And you just turn it into a political football. You could criticize how Trump is conducting the war. Say you would have done it this way, you would have done it that way.
Now, let's bear in mind, this guy is maybe still a Democrat or used to be a Democrat, because the caption says essentially Democrats are walking away. All right. And whenever I talk here, all I want is to see consistency. I want to see some honesty. But all I've seen so far coming from the left is pontificating and lies. JM says, I'll be honest, and please, God forgive me, however, I despise these double-talking politicians. And you should. Okay, you should. Okay, hating someone, despising them, well, it's close to the line. It's close to the line. Like, I vacillate, I flip-flop on my feelings towards these guys all the time, because it's like you're upset with your kid brother for breaking your favorite video game. Okay, you're displeased with them, especially when they aren't repentant and say sorry for doing it. Okay, but you have to forgive them. All right. So you can look at these people and say, look, these people are snakes. All right, they're snakes. And the upsetting thing is, and hey, Intergalactic Wrangler is in the chat. Okay. All right, if you're watching and you're wondering why I celebrate those of us who come into the chat, it is because it is a brave thing to do, especially in this day and age where you have people who attack you simply because you support Trump's policies. And I've always asked, okay, so whenever did you see conservatives attack people for voting for Kamala Harris or Biden or Obama? Okay, and I'm still waiting for someone to show me the evidence. And speaking of evidence, you have all these videos of Democrat leadership pushing to make a move on Iran. Obama did it during his administration or during his campaign, and once he got into office, he totally flipped and went bowing down to the Ayatollah, giving them shiploads of money. So it's all about someone being consistent. Let's finish up this video.
But you don't. You just say this is a war.
Don't worry. Intergalactic Wrangler, this isn't your fault. It's been happening before, long before you showed up, so it's not your fault. Okay, guys, inside joke.
War of choice, a random decision, even though
this was working totally well until I decided to.
You know better. Score cheap political points. Pretend that this is just another crazy mistake from Donald Trump. Whoever was in office right now, whatever president from whatever party, would have had to deal with this threat. It should have been dealt with under Obama, when they kidnapped a ship full of Navy sailors and held them hostage. No, he created the nuclear deal, which would have expired this year. The limits on nuclear enrichment would have expired this year.
Yeah.
And the limits on rockets, the distance that Iranian rockets can travel, expired 3 years ago. That deal would have been gone. There is no diplomacy right now, and Iran knows that. They were planning for exactly this year, the entire time, to attack. Oh, nuclear deal's over? Let's go.
Yeah.
One more clip.
He entered a war, got pulled into it by Bibi Netanyahu. Let's be clear about that.
These guys are crazy.
That the American people do not want. Putting at risk American service members.
And then she jumps on the blame Israel bandwagon. Like, they just pulled us into this war for no reason, right? Not because there's been rockets flying at them for the past 2.5 years. Ever since October 7th, 2023, when Hamas invaded Israel and took over 200 people hostage and killed over 1,000 in the most ruthless way possible.
Yeah.
No, Israel just, for some reason, because they're awful and terrible, pulled us into this war. No, they're on the front lines, and they were attacked. And we were the only country with the guts to step in and do something about it. Because it's not just Israel that's under attack. Israel's just the first country in the way.
Yeah.
I could show you dozens of clips right now of Islamic preachers in Arabic and English telling us exactly what they want to do, that they want to destroy the United States, destroy Western civilization, and turn us all into the Islamic Handmaid's Tale. And Kamala Harris can't even be real about that threat.
Yeah.
She is the reason that I have so much trouble voting for Democrats right now in this moment. She was supposed to be the adult in the room. She was supposed to be the experienced leader. And she's playing politics just like the rest of them.
Well, so he's clearly left the Democrat Party in spirits, but maybe he still votes Democrat in some areas. JM says she was always pro-Israel. She's trying to butter up to socialists. I don't think she was always pro-Israel. The thing with Democrats is they essentially wear skin suits. Okay, they wear skin suits. Whatever is convenient politically, that's what they put on. All right, so that's essentially what Democrats have become. They are the wolves in sheep clothing. They dress up for the occasion. They don't have any real convictions. All right. Now, let's look at some of the footage that has been coming out of the Middle East. There's some really interesting, I'll say interesting, but of course, being near these explosions is terrifying. So here's, so massive explosions rock Iran's Hormuzgan province after U.S. airstrikes targeted military sites. So these are military sites. Al Jazeera and company will let you know that civilians were living there, and the U.S. just randomly decided to wipe out lives. And the Democrats will parrot Al Jazeera's, propaganda.
Whoa.
So that was a strike. All right, guys, I'm just going to be honest, okay? If the video hangs, I'm just going to take it in stride. I'm not going to make excuses anymore. JM says, skin suits, I like. Look, that's exactly what they are. When you think about it, okay, you see Obama tells the United States exactly what they needed to hear to get elected. He gets into office and totally acts differently. While he was running for office, he told the world, okay, that he was a Christian. And he introduced the world to his pastor, only for us to find out that this pastor was a degenerate, just like, okay, woke pastors. Okay, there's a special part of hell for woke pastors. Not me saying it, the Bible says it, because these people claim to be preachers of the commands of God, but they turn around and they betray the trust that God puts in that office of the pastor. So they decide that they want to become politicians. They want to say the things that people want to hear. Hear. In the Bible, Paul says that these people have gathered to themselves people with itching ears, people who want to hear something, convenient. Oh, this secret sin that I have. Okay, this pastor says it's okay for me to engage in pornography. Oh, actually, did you know that doctors say that doctors? Just when I was, catching my stride. So let's watch this. So here's a huge explosion happening in Iran. No, so these people, they gather to themselves people who know that their sin is wrong. It's an abomination to God. But do you know what they do? They tell you that, oh no, culturally that was okay, but today God is fine with your degenerate lifestyle. And I'm like, what? God has never been fine with degenerates. Never. He loves them, but the sin destroys their souls and wrecks society. Anywho, another explosion. Let's watch this one. Reportedly footage of American airstrikes in the same province. I always scroll down to check underneath these clips. So if you don't know, on X, formerly known as Twitter, there's something called community notes. I always check to see if the footage I'm watching is AI or it is actually accurate. So I always check. So this is another attack. And it might be the same one, but from another angle. I'm scared to expand the screen so it doesn't hang. It's terrifying to be on the receiving end of this. Okay, but from what I've been hearing, the Iranian people want this to happen, and they're happy that the United States is resuming hostilities. Now, someone might say, who in their right mind would be happy that the United States is bombing them? Look, Nigerians were happy when the United States bombed the terrorists in northern Nigeria. CNN and all the other woke clowns were losing their minds about it. I'm Nigerian. I woke up to the news and I had a big smile on my face. When you have people who routinely kidnap your relatives, rape and murder them, even after the ransom has been paid, yes, these people need to be erased. But when people sit in the comfort of their air-conditioned studios and try to tell us how to feel about justice being visited on people who do evil things, they should give me a break. I'm going to read the chat in a bit. I just want to go through the footage. I'm already behind. We do need to do the watch party, and I've lingered on the Iran topic for too long. Okay, I think we've seen enough Iran footage. I think we've seen enough. All right. I'm going to skip that news. It's okay. So Mitch McConnell. Let's talk about Mitch McConnell. But before we do, JM says you just described Ralph Warnock. Yeah, like these are people who claim to be ministers. They claim to be ministers. and you hear the depraved nonsense that they say. It's depraved. And then they wrap it in a suit of compassion. It's depraved. Look, guys, I love people. I'm compassionate. I don't want to hurt anyone. And guys, in case you didn't notice, I want people to like me too. I do. I want people to like me. I want people to accept me. But I won't do that, at the expense of my soul. I won't. I have people who watch this show who can't wait for me to start cussing. They're like, oh, go there, go there, go there. I want to live through you vicariously. I'm like, no, you're not going to hear me cuss. And I don't cuss in public or in private. I don't. But there are people who are like, oh, once this guy starts cussing, oh, it's on. I'm like, no, you're not going to hear me cuss. And there are other people who just want me to be like far, far to the partisan right. Trump's administration does no wrong. The GOP, are all angels. And I'm about to rip the GOP. Now, this is, here we are with Mitch McConnell. All right. So we just talked about the Democrats, essentially being two-faced clowns. We have people in the GOP. I don't know much about Mitch McConnell. The little that I know of him, there's a handful of people on the, on the Republican side who like him. There are others who think that he has betrayed the United States and is essentially a rhino, okay, Republican in name only. And for years, his health has been called into question, especially his mental health. Mitch McConnell was found unconscious at his home, at his DC home on June 14, 2026, possibly from a heart attack. This was in June, guys. EMS performed CPR and rushed him to hospital. McConnell's office says he is recovering and actively working. Guys, let's watch this video, all right? And then you tell me if you believe that this guy had a heart attack, was rushed to the hospital after being given vigorous CPR, and then he has the strength. He's over 80. I think he's 86 years old or 87. And then he has the strength to sit up in bed and work his normal hours as a senator. This is Joe Biden all over again, in my opinion. I'm not in the room. I'm not in his, inner circle. But this looks like Joe Biden all over again. This is a video that was recorded July 26, 2023. This was 3 years ago. This guy over here, 3 years ago, already had some serious issues going on. Let's watch this.
Cooperation and a string of
He's talking mid-sentence, he freezes. He literally freezes. And then someone has to walk up to him to push the reset button. He's nothing. Now she comes and pushes the reset button. Two people have to come to push the reset button.
anything else you want to say, or should we just go back to your house? Do you want to say anything else to the Let's go back to you.
Go ahead, John.
You see all these people surrounding him, and any Republican senator or congressman that isn't seriously calling for this guy to step down and resign. I think he didn't run for re-election this year, but he should have been gone a long time ago. He should have been gone a long time ago. This is a Republican. Okay, so I am not a partisan. I'm not like, hey, we're going to be all out, attacking the left. I know the live stream tends to do that quite a bit. But when you see things like this happening, it gives license to the left to do what they do. When even people on the right are so dishonest that they won't call this guy out and say, look, why are you Why are you still holding office in the Senate when fresh, younger people should be doing so? I'm going to play this footage from Scott Jennings. You guys, if you've watched me long enough, you know I am favorable to Scott Jennings. And something is going on with Scott Jennings. He's trying to grow a beard. I don't know if it's like he's having a midlife crisis and he wants to grow a beard to start looking tough or something, but I don't know, guys. I don't know. I'm not mocking him. I'm just saying I noticed it. I'm like, why is Scott not shaving anymore? I think he's trying to grow out a beard and look different. I think he's having a midlife crisis or he's just rebranding. Okay. JM says, yeah, he didn't run. Him and Nancy are buddies, so they never allowed younger competition to run against him. These people I'm not an American citizen, okay? So here's me from the outside looking in. That doesn't pass the smell test. All right, that doesn't pass the smell test. You have stodgy old people who are corrupt as hell staying in office until there's no pulse. Until there's no pulse. The only people allowed to do that should be the judges in the Supreme Court. And even at that, once you're incapacitated, once you can't even walk to the bathroom, once you can't aim your piss into the bowl, you should be stepping down and spending more time with your family. But most of them don't because they're scared. Most of them are terrified because once they leave office, the power that they use as a shield is gone. Guys, I was born at night, but not last night, okay? I know what goes on in their heads. And whenever you have someone holding on to power that tightly, it's very clear that they are scared of something. Now, let's listen to Scott Jennings. Scott, I like him. I like his takes, okay? I've used his videos to essentially have those moments where he calls out the left very accurately. I'm good with it. He calls out the facts. But here, Scott Jennings is creating a firestorm that if it goes the wrong way, his credibility is going to be destroyed in my eyes. In my eyes. I don't know about anyone else, but in my eyes. So here's what he had to say.
He called me this morning before I did my radio show.
All right. I need a fund. Okay, so guys, I know I don't talk about super chats, okay, but if you have some spare shekels to send my way, I need to get a new computer or something. This is embarrassing. I can't be, setting up this lovely video and then I hit the play button and then it just freezes on me.
For about 17 minutes. He talked a lot about the situation with Iran, talked a little bit about Ukraine and what's going on in Europe. I told him I'd been to the Teddy Roosevelt Library. We talked a little bit about the history of the vice presidency and how
history of the vice
that in the modern presidency.
Oh, jeez.
Senate. I mean, it was a wide-ranging conversation. I talked to him often. I hadn't talked to him since he'd been in. I'd gotten a few text messages from him, but I hadn't spoken to him. So it was good to hear his voice. Voice sounded strong and sounded like he was keeping up with the news to me.
Did you ask him how he was feeling?
Yeah, he said he was feeling okay, obviously well enough to call me on the phone and obviously well enough to talk to Barrasso and Thune. Now, look, I'm not qualified to discuss any medical issues or give you any information about that. That's really for him or his staff to do. But, I talk to him from time to time and I see him from time to time. And, we had a conversation today about the things that we normally talk about, which are news of the day, political stuff.
Did you come away feeling like he's still capable of serving the people of Kentucky as senator?
I came away feeling that he was staying on top of the news. Again, look, his condition and why he's in the hospital or when he might come out or look, that's.
Do you know why, and are just saying you're a chair?
I do not know why.
This is painful to watch.
Frankly, what has been reported or what his office has said.
So, Scott is a product of the establishment. All right, I'm not throwing him under the bus, but he's a product of the establishment. He served under George W. Bush. I heard him There was an interview he had after the funeral of who was it now? It wasn't John McCain. It was one of the senators that didn't vote for the healthcare bill under Trump's first time. Anyway, geez. Okay, let's just keep going. So I heard that interview and I was like, okay, this guy is deep in establishment politics, but he's saying the right things to support the Trump administration. He's a lifelong Republican. He's going to vote red. He's going to talk in this way. But to become an operative, look, if Scott had said, I heard he's doing okay. I've been told he's doing okay, and that's all I know, that would have been good. But this looked like he was trying to sell hard the fact that Mitch McConnell is great. He's sharp as a tack. This is sharp as a tack 2.0, but this time it's coming from someone on the right. And I'm so disappointed. JM says, I'm disappointed in Scott today. He was most likely told by Bush neocons to post what he said. He posted it and then he's saying it to our faces. It was prepaid. It was a prepared statement, just like John Thune. It was almost like they all got the same script. JM also says, I can't believe Scott humiliated himself like this, shaking my head. And then Intergalactic Wrangler says, Mitch McConnell has been a zombie for a few years now. I don't, look guys, I don't hate anyone, okay? I don't hate anyone. But we can't continue. All right. Guys, it's not beneath me to use some of these things. I think I'm going to indulge for today. Okay, so here's one of the videos that came out today. Mitch McConnell showing up to vote against the America Safe Act. It's AI. It's made with AI. Yes, it's not. So it's funny, okay? But this is a guy. I said it while Biden was being propped up and drugged up and dragged around to essentially stay in power and push policies that he may not even have written or signed into law. And I called it out. I said, look, this is wrong. Because my mom went through early onset dementia, and I could see the signs. I was like, this is wrong, and having someone being treated this way, it just didn't. It felt icky, and I said it about Biden. All right, I said it about Biden. Now Laura Loomer, who is of course a MAGA influencer, because that's what the left wants to say, because whenever they want to discredit you, they say you're a MAGA YouTuber, MAGA influencer. So whatever you say is always tainted to lean right and so on. But hey, she's someone who supports President Trump, and she wrote this was it today? So the day before yesterday, I'm going to read this, okay, because Laura Loomer has uncovered a bunch of things in the past, and I think she's earned some trust, okay, even though her methods are very brash, but she's earned some trust. She said, high-level source close to the White House tells me Mitch McConnell is officially brain dead. He is not coming back. All right, that's one. Now, why is it that you would have someone, okay, now this is him, all right? Now let's read what she has to say. The cover-up of Mitch McConnell being brain dead is because the senators want to F Trump and not pass the Save America Act. Mitch McConnell is brain dead and hooked up to machines. He's 84 years old and was found unconscious and needed to be resuscitated. it's being covered up so that we never get the Save America Act, because the Never Trumpers want more trans kids and they want more illegals voting in our country. Mitch McConnell fell in October of 2025 and could barely speak when he fell. Now we're supposed to believe he's calling people from his hospital room, having elaborate conversations about philosophy and foreign policy. Like that's why I was listening to Jennings, and I was like, and Scott Jennings is from the same state as Mitch McConnell. Mitch McConnell is a senator for Kentucky, I think, and Scott Jennings is from Kentucky. So I think all that partisanship has to die. It has to die. All right. We should only be partisan to the truth. I think that's the only partisanship that we should have. We need to be partisan in favor of the truth. And if we see stuff like this happening, there's a problem. Now, those of us here who are watching, I mean, now this is the video from July. I think it was last July. Was it last July? She said he fell in October of 2025. And the video is skipping. Okay, great. What happens now is whenever this happens and I open another browser like this, it just starts playing. I just click to open a new browser and it just starts playing.
Do you support ICE taking working people off the streets and kidnapping them?
This guy should have retired a long time ago. We called this out when they were doing it to Joe Biden. All right? We should call it out whenever it happens, even on the side we support. This is wrong, and anyone who's involved in this cover-up needs to be called out, and they should lose their seat, because this is insane, in my opinion. Guys, say what you will, but that's what I think. All right. So that's Mitch McConnell. So guys, let me know. Mitch McConnell has been voting no on the SAFE Act. Mitch McConnell has backed some things that have impaired Trump's ability to carry out his mandate. He's an establishment. He's a product of the establishment, or he is a part of the establishment. That's why a bunch of people just don't like him. But he should have, anyway. Excuse me. While Congress is busy pontificating about term limits on the Supreme Court, we should have term limits on Congress. People in Congress need to have term limits. All right. Spot the Insurrection is on. All right, guys. It's a game show. Now, you guys, let me know what you think about the stories we've covered already. Trump's statements on the ceasefire ending. Did you see it coming? Did you know it was going to happen? Were you skeptical about his deal with Iran? Did you think that deal was seriously going to hold? Let me know in the chat or in the comment section. Then about this situation with Scott Jennings and Mitch McConnell and all of the mess that it's looking like it's going to be, let me know what you really think in the chat. I have said my piece. I don't think I need to litigate the entire thing all over again. It doesn't pass the smell test. I like Scott Jennings. This is a bad look for him. This is a bad look for Republicans and the GOP. I think something needs to be done. I rest my case. You guys let me know what you think in the chat. We said we were going to start looking at the body cam footage from January 7th. All right. Judicial Watch has received over 1,600 videos, police body cam videos, and over 1,000 hours of footage of the January 6th insurrection. Woo! Yeah! Yeah, it's insurrection time. We're going to prove that Trump caused an insurrection. All right? That low life 37-count felon caused an insurrection. Look, we're going to have a party. Yeah. Now, you guys, just take a look at the views on your channels. You see how they're going to start climbing because I started screaming about how Trump was such an evil bastard. But you know he's not, okay? So something funny happened. The opposite just happened. The views just tanked. I was like, okay, I guess I just tripped over the wrong wire. JM says he is the greatest threat to our democracy. Yeah, greatest threat to, look, what are the greatest hits, okay? He's the greatest threat to our democracy. MAGA Republicans are the greatest threat to our democracy. And January 6th. Okay. I'm laying it on very thick right now. Okay, so let me save my energy. So, leftists should be chomping at the bits. They should be watching this with popcorn. Some of them should be excited beyond belief that they can finally see the insurrection. So we're helping them out. We're going to spot the insurrection. So first off, we're going to look at X, okay? We have the trove of videos here at our fingertips, but I want us to, there are people who just are so dialed in that they're doing the work for us. So this account here called Eagle's Wings says, officer caught on his own body cam cutting the top, then blamed a J6 defendant under oath. Oh my goodness. Okay, let's read this because look. Anyway, let's keep reading. In the federal trial of Kenneth Joe Thomas, a DC Metro Police officer testified that Thomas cut open a protective top on Capitol scaffolding. Problem: the officer's own body cam footage played in the same trial shows him cutting the top himself moments earlier. Judge Dabney Friedrich saw the video. Her response: let's move on. This happened under the Biden presidency. One of the things that I always say is if it could happen to Trump, if it could happen to these guys who just took a stroll in the Capitol and were ushered through by the Capitol Police, it could happen to any of us. And anyone who is screaming and salivating at people on the right getting treated this way, okay, they are essentially begging for it to happen to them when there's nobody else to persecute. Let's keep going. No consequences, no referral, trial continue. This is why every second of January 6th footage matters. When video directly contradicts sworn testimony and nothing happens, it undermines trust in the entire process. Watch the footage, share it, demand accountability. Let's watch the footage. Let's keep going. Hang on, I'm rewinding. So they're over there cutting the top, okay? Over there, down there in the corner, they're the ones cutting the top. There he is. He's cutting the top. So the Capitol Police cause property damage. Here they are cutting the top. And they claim that one of the January 6th defendants was the one who cut the top. All right, so let's keep going. Now, let's see. Let's see what this says, okay? Because I just had, we don't want to fight you. Please let us in. All right? Hang on. Let me respond to the chat. JM says, and it will happen to them. History always proves that right. What people on the left who support communism and Marxism and support partisan news media, I don't like partisan news media. If something is true, it's true. If it's false, it's false. The reason why I frown at it is if you have people who routinely lie about the facts, they bend the facts in order to empower their own side. What are they willing to do when you're no longer seen as being on their own side? So they celebrate and rejoice when Trump's trials are essentially travesties. But they don't know that the moment they aren't on the right side of history, according to the powers that be, because right now you have the unholy alliance of the far left and Islam. The far left believes in mutilating your children, castrating yourself and chopping off your pee-pee so that they can manually carve a slit in between your legs and give you a lotion that keeps it open and doesn't seal shut. For the rest of your life, you're going to be on pain medication and antibiotics and creams to simulate what God created, but men can't create. That's what they want to do. They want men in women's bathrooms. They want all kinds of fringe policies. The only two areas that it seems like the left, the far left and Islam tend to connect is the fact that the far left is currently down a rabbit hole where they want children to be sexualized and the age of consent to be dropped. So that's why they are feeding them pornography in K through 12, and they are trying to encourage schools to transition, the transitioning of kids without the consent of their parents. So teachers are essentially grooming kids to begin to do those things. All right. The sexual deviation is on a massive scale. On the Islamic side, if you listen to their clerics, they believe that a man can marry a 1-year-old child. I've seen these videos, guys. So they are on the same side on that. But they will throw gay people off buildings. Okay, so they don't agree with that bit. On the other side, they believe in lying about their political opponents in order to gain the advantage and have the permission structure to disenfranchise them from the economy, steal their wealth. They believe in stripping wealth from people who created it in order to own it and use it for their own ends. And they also believe in lying in order to forward their own political position or policies. It's a power tool. Lies are power tools for the left. For Islam, they believe in something called kafir. Kafir is that it is a doctrine that allows you to lie to the non-believer. You are permitted to lie to them in order to gain an advantage over them and gain victory over them. 2, they believe in looting the property of the non-believer when they conquer them in war and taxing them if they happen to still live within the same conquered region. All right. They believe in disenfranchising you economically because you are less than and you're not allowed to gain economic power over another Muslim. Am I missing anything? So those are the only 2 key areas where they seem to be, in cahoots. But the moment they gain power, look at what happened in Iran. In 1979, of course, in 78, there was a coup. The communists and the Islamists teamed up. The communists were the ones who had the guns. They they essentially dethroned the Shah of Iran while he was out of the country. And then once he was out of the picture, guess what happened? The Islamists arrested the communists, executed a bunch of them, and then the rest of the communists who lived in Iran fled the country to where? To the West. They are the same lunatics who support trans ideology. They support the left. These same communists who destroyed their own country moved over to the West. They still support the same policies that chased them out of their own countries. Yeah. we're gonna. It beggars belief to see these things playing out. All you need is just a passive look at history, and it will blow your mind that these people actually live among us, that they can literally see what's right in front of their eyes and choose to disregard it, and just continue bearing down the road to oblivion. Let's see. JM says, remember what I said about all those DC Capitol Police officers yesterday? They are all part of the lower G group. That is true. Jeez, my Lord, diabolical. Intergalactic Wrangler says, Democrats will convince you the sky is purple and the earth is flat if they could. All these videos and fake news, the propaganda is so thick unless they pay attention regularly every day. So guys, what I just did with Mitch McConnell and Scott Jennings, I will do every single time something funny comes out on our side. I will do every single time because, guys, I'm left or right, we need to call out the lies. We need to just tell the truth, okay? Because the moment you support something that is unjust, you're lining up a precedent. You're lining up a precedent for it to be done to you. All right. Are we saying deport all Muslims? I'm not saying that. I'm saying if you come into a country like the United States that allows you to worship the way you like in the privacy of your little community, fine. Don't start rolling out your mats in the middle of the street and blasting the call to prayer on loudspeakers and dressing like you're in the desert. When you're in the United States of America, you're in the West. And then your preachers routinely announce, we're taking over the United States. Sharia law is going to be the law. We're going to tear down the Constitution. Huh? Let's watch this one. I'm so sorry, guys. I need to be more disciplined. I need to be more professional. Okay, all these side tangents and rants. I'm chasing away new viewers. They listen to this African talking about their country and like, how dare you talk about our country? I'm like, you guys talked about Nigeria for decades, and I watched you guys do it, and I didn't mind because you guys tended to say something that was true. But now you're offended that an African is talking about your country. No. What goes around comes around. So I'm just going to do my job. I'm going to talk about it. Look, my daughter is American. All right. My daughter is American. I owe her this. I owe her the truth. So when she grows up, to be old enough to understand what I'm doing here and watches my content, at least she would have enough information to make up her own mind and have her own decision tree on how she wants to live her life. Intergalactic Wrangler says, not while Mr. T is president. No. President Trump is going to be president for another couple of years. I'm doing this. If it can help one person who thinks that Trump is a racist, who thinks that Trump is a bigot, who thinks that Trump is trying to throw out all the immigrants. If I can get one person to pause, take that IV drip from MSNBC and CNN and NPR and all of that out of their vein for a second and crack open a history book, crack open AI and ask very pointed questions. You may not like the answers you get. We're looking at evidence now that shows that we were lied to. Those of us who had two brain cells to rub together knew that we were being lied to about January 6th. We called it out. And you know what? They shut us down. Okay? Patricia got put in Facebook jail for what? 3 months? For calling out the truth. We were censored. And now the evidence is right in front of us. What we knew to be true is right here in front of us. JM says, big rude awakening will happen to Islamic false prophets, warriors, if they think they will be able to simply take over. Big rude awakening. Yeah, but JM, I agree, but in a way, cautiously agree, because these people have, it's a, how am I going to go? Islam, and I don't mean the clerics or the people. Islam as a monolith religion has a long memory. When you listen to them and you listen to their clerics, they have generational hatred for the West. They tried to invade Spain. When was it? When Ferdinand and what's her name? Jeez. I have these facts in my head. King Ferdinand and Queen. Anyway, I'm sure I'll remember it. I remember it's right there at the tip of my tongue. Essentially staged a resistance against Islam when they attempted to invade Spain. There was a multi-year war, where Islam tried to invade the West. They had conquered Turkey. They were bearing down into the West, and Spain was the bulwark, and they prevented that and they defeated them. They've been bitter about that defeat for hundreds of years. And every time you listen to the imams and the mullahs talk about the West, they always kind of hint at the fact that, yes, you guys stopped us hundreds of years ago, but now you've let us in because of your woke policies. You allow us to come into your countries, to have families and children. We are going to outbreed you. We're going to give birth to more children. And in 100 years, inshallah, we're going to take over your governments. That's what they've done in England. They tell you what they're going to do. You need to believe them. So when you say, if they try to take over, there's going to be a rude awakening. Well, guys, look at Zoran Mamdani. All right, Zoran Mamdani has won the mayoral race in New York. He's doing exactly what he said he would do, but not everything, because there are limits because of the existing laws. But if he's going to be in politics for the next 30 to 60 years, okay, if he finishes his run as a mayor and decides he wants to go to Congress, he could be in politics for the next 60 years. We can see an 84-year-old Mitch McConnell. He's 33 or 34. So he's got years. So these are people who are playing the long game. In Nigeria, they registered 9-year-olds to vote in our elections in Nigeria. There were pictures of 9-year-olds voting in our elections in northern Nigeria that is predominantly Muslim. 9-year-olds. This is what they do. They are a political religion. They educate their people about politics. They are the first to register to vote. They are the first to get their voters' ID. They are the first to get their kids activated as voters. Islam is not playing by the same rules as the churches do. They don't believe in the separation of church and state. Their plan is to take over. So while the left is relaxing and thinking that all is well, because the West has been the West has been pampered into oblivion. They don't understand that there are dangers anymore. When I moved to this province, I was told that even the snakes here aren't poisonous. I was like, what? I'm like, yeah, they say the snakes aren't poisonous. The mosquitoes don't give you malaria, yet the mosquitoes are big as trucks, but they don't give you malaria. I was like, whoa, okay. People here feel so safe. Okay, people in the West feel so safe. The women dress in very scant clothing during the summer because they need sun. Okay, people who come from third world countries who've never seen a white woman in their lives see that and they lose their minds. And then you have these woke judges who want to pamper these people. They need to be thrown in jail and deported. Consequences will stop them from doing the insane things they do. But no, they let them continue doing the nonsense. They keep them in the country. And you know what? They have families. They train their kids to hate white people. They train their kids to vote against conservative policies. They bid their time until they outpopulate you, outvote you, and before long, you have 90% of, let me be conservative, 60% of the people in Congress are now Muslims, Islamists. Guess what they'll do next? They're going to start pushing for constitutional amendments. And if the population in the different states matches the numbers needed to pass a constitutional amendment because they've outbred you in 50 years, guess what's going to happen to your constitution? You and I may not be alive when that happens. That's why I'm saying what I'm saying. I'm talking the way I talk. Okay, sorry, I don't want to be a downer. Okay, but when you say this, I agree with you, JM, but for how long? Those of us who are big on our freedoms, who understand what's at stake, how long will we be alive? What will our children understand this? Do they understand what freedom is? JM says, funny, media doesn't want to talk about these videos, just like the Dr. Death flu origins and cover-ups. The media is pretending that 1,630 body cam videos from January 6th, it's like they live in a different dimension. It's like these videos don't exist. No one is talking about them. But guys, we're going to talk about them. We're going to keep talking about them. Jeez, I haven't played this video and it's been on the screen for so long. JM says early 1900s. Intergalactic Wrangler says, so that's also what the Jews do. Now, let me ask a question, JM, okay? Now, between the Islamists and the Jews, which of them want to assault your daughters in order to make sure they don't go to heaven? Which of them want to destroy your constitution and make sure that the United States becomes a caliphate, a part of the global caliphate? Which of them despises the freedoms that you have so that they can't push their horrible beliefs on everyone? Which ones want you to dress like you're in the middle of a desert? Want your women to be so suppressed and oppressed that they have to look through a veil for the rest of, like, every time they go out in public, all they see is the grid of a veil in front of their eyes. So yes, I don't support other countries jumping in and influencing the local politics of your country. But one is more dangerous than the other. Okay. So I totally agree with you. Intergalactic Wrangler says they have up to 18 kids. Yep. JM says, oh Lord, I hope I don't want to see him for the next 30 to 60 years. Speaking of Mamdani, I don't think I will be around 60 or more years. No, like most of us, I see the demographics of people who watch my content. it kind of depresses me because I would like a younger audience to watch this and get educated so that they can have more years to educate their children and make better decisions. Most of us watch it, and for most of us, our lives are like we're staring down the barrel of 50, 60, some of us 70, over 70, and we're like, okay, we're heading towards retirement. I would love to see younger people watching this and responding to it, but hey, many of them see gray hair and they're like, okay, and I talk slowly. I don't rant. I don't talk fast. I don't dress flashy. Okay. So maybe it's that, or it's just that the content I put out there is just tailored for people like us. I don't know. I created the live stream channel. Originally, the live stream channel was like my backup channel in case my main channel got deleted for some reason because the powers that be don't like me. But eventually, now my hope was that the demographics that would watch the backup channel would be different. I was hoping that it wouldn't be the same group, but it turned out it's the same group. No matter how many channels I open, the same group watch me. So I gave up. Intergalactic Wrangler says, I've seen mosquitoes bigger than my fist one time. Anyway, let's not talk about mosquitoes. Okay, so let's go back to spot the insurrection. All right, if you're watching and you're wondering what these jokers are doing here, we're just hanging out and watching the news. And right now we're looking at the footage from the J6 insurrection. Yeah, it's an insurrection. We're doubling down to make sure that we prove that Trump did cause an insurrection. But guess what? We're having a hard time finding the insurrection. So we're playing a game, and I hope you join us. Find the insurrection. So this video says, let's see. We don't want to fight you. Please let us in. A police body cam had fallen off an officer on January 6th. And what it continued recording is remarkable. Away from the screaming headlines and political narratives, you can hear a conversation between protesters and police. Let's have a listen to this. Maybe I'm going to do a campaign, okay? You guys are going to help me buy a new computer or something. Now, here's what happens, okay? So whenever I play these videos and it hangs, I go over and I click to open a new browser. I'm clicking now. Then I don't want to fight you. Please let us in.
We don't want to fight you. We don't want to fight you. Really.
Can we be inside the building and not inside the building?
We just want to take you out.
We're tired, guys. This is how this thing was going to end.
I'm not tired yet.
Fucking bunch of pedophiles supporting fucking locals. Fuck them. Fuck you fucking traitors.
Yeah, so the last lines of what we just heard, yeah, that where's the insurrection? Okay. Where's the insurrection? Now someone will say, hey, but that guy used the F word. Yeah, but you did hear someone else who said, hey, we don't want to fight you. There's a lot of frustration going on January 6th. I remember the feeling, and I'm not American, but I remember the feeling on January 6th. All right. I remember the feeling. And we all, hold on. So again, yeah, he had a potty mouth. Most conservatives, in fact, most people out there have potty mouths. Okay. There are people who have a potty mouth and they still love America. Then there are those who have a potty mouth and they hate America. So you can't judge judge a person by the potty mouth. But when someone essentially points at the police and says, we know what you look like and we're going to come and kill you and your family, like that guy did at the ICE detention center and got arrested by the DOJ. Props to Kash Patel. Thank you very much for your service. That is what we're saying no to, okay? People simply expressing their frustration is a different thing. Now, here's another. Now, remember that we're going to play just one before we close. We're going to choose one of these from the collection. What we're doing here is this has unmasked a ton of research happening. And we're going to be leveraging the autism of the internet, where we have people who are going to sit and watch all 1,000 hours and help us curate those moments that prove that there was an insurrection. And we're going to we're going to leverage that. Then we're going to also play raw footage ourselves and skip through to look for the insurrection ourselves. So I want to apologize for pontificating as much as I have today, but I don't know. I think in some ways, some of the things I said needed to be said to give context, because we can pretend that that everyone knows what we're saying, but I think we do need to voice these things out and put it on the record. Here's why these things are happening. Okay, I believe in the intelligence of my audience, but I also don't want to overestimate how informed the people who are coming in are. So here's Michael Fannon, and here's his body cam testimony. These are some of the things that we called out. Michael Fannon, J6 testimony versus his body cam footage. Did Michael Fannon lie about what's happened on January 6th?
I was at risk of being stripped of and killed with my own firearm.
Again, it's happening. I'm going to open a new browser.
I was.
Oh, we're better than this. Hold him. I got you, man. I got you.
I was electrocuted again and again and again with a taser. I'm sure I was screaming, but I don't think I could even hear my own voice.
Don't hurt him. You're safe. Don't hurt him. Don't hurt him. You're safe. Leave it. You good? What's your name, man? I got you, man. All right? I got you, man.
I know that Jimmy helped to evacuate me from the building and drove me to MedStar Washington Hospital Center, despite suffering significant injuries himself. At the hospital, doctors told me that I had suffered a heart attack, and I was later diagnosed with a concussion, a traumatic brain injury, and post-traumatic stress disorder.
Yeah, that looks like the hospital, yeah. He's still inside of the Capitol building, walking around on his own 2 feet.
You get gas at all? Oh, yeah, but I'm used to CS gas. That's fine. I'm feeling any fractures. Look at my finger here. Nose here. No obvious severe injuries. Can't find any fractures. Pupils are equal. Open your mouth.
So no concussion.
All right. Dizzy at all? You can stay here and rest until you're feeling better. Thanks, buddy. Need some water to wash out the CS? No, it's fine now.
So this guy testified that the protesters attacked him and electrocuted him several times. Meanwhile, they were protecting him. Like, they literally protected him. You know, here they are protecting him.
I know that Jimmy helped to...
Oh, sorry. Let me skip.
Leave it.
Like, they're protecting him.
What's your name, man? I got you, man. All right? I got you, man.
There's a special part of hell for people like this who just, who lie and ruin people's lives simply because they hate the person that those people voted for. Special part of hell. Unless they repent, JM says, yes, there was a lot of frustration. JM says, most of these officers should be fired, and I believe many of them are already off the force. Yeah, like this guy is off the force, but he's making media rounds. I've seen him on interviews, talking about January 6th and, these people that Trump pardoned are evil people. Goes crying to the press. And look, guys, like we're over it. All right. Now, I promise we'll just watch one of these. So yesterday we watched, which ones did we watch? We watched one of these. Let's see. So this one looks like, okay, I think we watched this one. I think we did. This one is Capitol Riot, First Constitution Avenue. Let's play this one. We're going to skip through. We're going to search for the insurrection and see if we find anything. All right. So, sometimes I forget that the screen hasn't been shared. Sorry. All right. So we're going to look at this one. It's playing. Yeah. So it's blank for a while. So here's police ushering the insurrectionists. No one is attacking the police. Oh, they attacked police. They killed officers. 3 officers, 6 officers. They keep changing the numbers. 6 officers died as a result of Trump's insurrection. We're looking for the insurrection, guys. Let me see. Where can you find it? All right. Pull out your microscopes. Where's the insurrection? Just have people being ushered through the building. They're being ushered through the building.
Which way to Pelosi's office?
Which way to Pelosi's office? And of course, they claim that they wanted to go to her office to hurt her. It's called a protest. All right, I'm sure they needed to protest her. We're still looking for the insurrection. Where are the violent rioters? Yeah, Ray Epps. That's the guy. Ray Epps. We kept asking, what happened to Ray Epps? And has Kash Patel done anything about the Ray Epps situation? I don't know. Maybe I'll take a look at it later. I'm gonna skip forward. I said we're gonna skip forward because we're gonna skip forward. I like this. Let's see. I'm going to get anyway. I'm just going to be quiet about this computer for now. I'm just not going to complain. I'm tempted to, but I'm not. All right. So let's see. Jeez. Okay. So you have another one here. All right. Look. Police officers are being violently assaulted by the insurrectionists. Oh my goodness. Oh my. Oh look. what's happening here.
Sergeant Hoffer, you on the air? I'm stuck inside.
JM says that unelected J6 committee was a disgrace and all need to pay the price for the massive lies. It's treason. Well, the J6 committee was pardoned by Joe Biden. Didn't you hear? It was a mass pardon. You get a pardon. You get a pardon on Joe Biden's way out. He pardoned the J6 committee. Why would they need a pardon if they did nothing wrong? Guys. I'm going to skip forward. See if there's... Oh, look, violent insurrectionists. Look at them. Who's doing the pushing?
How much further?
So let's get this straight, okay? Let's get this straight. These guys are outside. They've been tear gassed. Let's remember this. They've been tear gassed. And in order to escape the tear gas, they are trying to run into the building. The Capitol Police is chasing them out of the building towards the tear gas. Let's keep that in mind. There's no tear gas inside the building. There's lots of tear gas outside the building. Fired by who? Fired by who? Fired by the Capitol Police. They weren't being unruly. They weren't breaking things. They weren't attacking anyone. They weren't burning buildings. They weren't burning flags. They weren't burning anything. But the Capitol Police, in all their wisdom, decided that they were going to fire canisters of tear gas into the crowd, causing them to run into the building. Most of them did. JM says, oh, I forgot. Last minute pardons. Yeah.
That is nasty stuff. I'm sorry this is happening, guys. All you guys got to do is thank the Constitution and let us in. Don't be shooting up. Traitors! Hey, get out of our country, man. Hey, traitor.
So they tear gassed the crowd. The crowd's trying to escape the tear gas and they locked them outside. Okay. Let's see. I'm skipping forward to look for where the insurrection took place. We're still looking for the insurrection, guys. Guys, I want to... All right, so who's this? This looks like Jake Lang, but I'm not sure. He still has the same... I don't know. Is this Jake Lang? Blessed be God, my rock. Like these are people with scripture on their clothes and
Back up, sir. It's not us.
I apologize. I said I wouldn't, but I'm gonna apologize, guys. You guys come in here. You trust me with your time, and my computer starts acting up. I'm sorry. I thought, I did restart the computer, like I said I would. Yesterday, I said I was going to restart the computer before I go live. I did, and it's doing exactly the same thing. Let me see. I did something. Excuse me. Sorry, I just wanted to make sure that something was deleted on the software that I'm using to stream. So maybe that might be part of the problem.
I can't
All right. So let's see how far we can go with this. Still acting out. All right. Sometime tonight or tomorrow, I might kickstart.
I can't move. I can't move.
So there's a crowd pushing in, and look, so remember, the crowd has been tear gassed. They're trying to escape the gas, and the police is pushing them back into the gas. All right, so basically, I still don't see any insurrection happening. Oh, there's insurrection. Okay, there's the. So what led to this? Hold on.
They say that we fuck fake ass police. God bless the real ones. Fuck your fake ass police. I can't control all of these people. I can only control myself. And some of them that aren't so wound up here, you know what I mean? And if they get crazy, I'm getting out of the way. Oh, here we go.
So there are people in the crowd, professional agitators, remember. Whoa. Thank you so much, Intergalactic Wrangler. $2 super chat PC fund. Thank you for chipping into the new PC. I'm gonna get a piggy bank. I'm gonna put this $2 in. In fact, anyway, this software doesn't do that. We have to have a goal. All right. So I'm gonna record this. Now, guys, remember, YouTube takes 30% of these super chats. All right. They take 30% of the super chats, but I'm grateful. Thank you so much, Intergalactic Wrangler, and it's, and you're still here. Thank you. Thank you so much. All right. Thank you so much.
I told you guys. I told you, man.
So this was totally unprovoked, okay? Totally unprovoked. Totally unprovoked. So this is, okay, so I'm going to take note of this video. Then, let me see, can I do this? I wonder if I can do this. Can I? I don't know. I want to see if I were to, anyway, like guys, I've already overstayed my welcome. All right, it's an hour, 30 minutes in. All right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take note of this video, and we're going to wrap it up tomorrow. We're gonna come back to this video because this is an interesting video. Now I'm going to prep, and I'm going to do some tests. Perhaps tonight. I might just go live tonight, and just test a different browser or figure out why this is happening to me. Okay, because the last time it was that the feed on this software was breaking, and it kept breaking and cutting out. Suddenly it's gone. Now I'm trying to play videos and it's just not playing. So I'm going to figure out why this is happening, and then we're going to just because I want you guys to have a great time whenever you come here. it's difficult to do when stuff is breaking, and it's hard to have this flow. But one of the things that I love, about what we're building here is the conversation in the chat. So yes, we watch these videos, but hey, we get to talk to each other. And JM says auto pen, ghost pen pardons. So we're going to come back to this feed the next time, maybe tomorrow, we're going to come back to this feed. Tomorrow, look, it's a slow news period, okay? A lot of news and commentary leaning creators are struggling. They are struggling. So many of them are figuring out other ways of padding their programming with interviews and other things. For me, I just want to talk with you guys, okay? This is more of a talk show. It is us talking while we watch whatever is going on in the world, all right? And I want to hear what you have to say. So there's something that happened with this footage. I'm going to reserve my commentary on it. Already we've seen that the Capitol Police tear gassed the crowd. They weren't being violent. They were tear gassed. A bunch of them wanted to run out of they wanted to run from the outside into the building because the tear gas was so much. You could hear them coughing, and then they were pushed out and held outside. And still, the tear gas was still bothering them. Then, suddenly, you had something going on, and people started pushing in. So what I want to see is what exactly transpired. And I want the video to play seamlessly without breaking. So I'm going to investigate this tonight. I'm going to be up for a couple of hours investigating this, figuring out why this is happening. And then maybe we'll have a better experience tomorrow. I got a new PC, and this isn't a memory issue. All right. I'm looking at the memory usage on the computer. I still have over 43% of memory available. Okay, this is a great computer, so I'm wondering why I'm having this issue with the videos. Okay, so I'm going to sit and figure this out. Now, the software that I use is called Restream, and Restream, like I paid for a lifetime license back in 2019. And I didn't know I was going to be doing live streams like this years later. So I have a lifetime license. It's been working great. Let's see. By the way, I love that Trump said he doesn't want to deal with Spain. He said they will come back begging. Yeah, I saw that story, and I was like, look, Trump has every right to say what he said. You can't have allies who actively undermine your goals, tell you to your face that they won't come to your aid until after the war has ended, like Keir Starmer told Trump, and still expect to be treated like equal partners. All right. So here's the video you're referring to. I'm gonna see if this will play.
Spoke to UK, spoke to Italy, I didn't speak to Spain. Spain is a wasted cause. We don't want to do any trade business with Spain anymore, by the way. I'd like you to cut it out. Spain is a terrible partner in NATO. They don't participate, they don't pay. I don't want anything to do with Spain. Cut off all trade with Spain, please, including visits. Okay, we don't want anything to do. Watch them come running back. Oh, they'll come running back. They treat this man terribly, and this man's a good man too, great man. They're lucky they have him. But Spain doesn't agree to anything, and you shouldn't carry him. I mean, you sort of automatically carry because you're protecting an area, so they're there. So they probably figured they have to protect us, right? But we don't have to. We don't have to trade with them. I don't want to do any more trade with them. All right? Sure. Take it immediately. Don't even talk to them. They're hopeless. Bad people, because, they have everybody else going and paying and working in Spain. In particular, Spain. There are a couple of others, but in particular, Spain. They're open about it. They're hostile about it. And let's see how hostile they remain when they call up and they, please, please, we want to trade with you, sir. We want to trade with you, sir. They make so much money with us, and we're going to see that they make a lot less. I want no business with them.
So Spain is one of those countries. Again, the history, I just remember the name of the Queen Isabella and King Ferdinand of Spain. They were the ones who fought against the Moors. They were the Islamists trying to invade Europe, and they held them off for years until they were defeated. So you see countries like Spain that have forgotten history. They've forgotten the risk or the threat that Islam posed to them years ago. And Islam hasn't changed. It hasn't changed in any way. They are still the same. They still hold to the same extremist, fundamentalist doctrines that prompted the people who attempted to invade Europe hundreds of years ago. It's still the same doctrine. And yet you have these people, okay, refusing to protect themselves. And Trump is saying, look, you guys refuse to protect yourselves. You refuse to cooperate with us when we're fighting a tyrannical Islamist regime. And he says, okay, no more trade. Trump says, I'm the boss. Look, I've pivoted from the J6 footage. There's people out there who want to claim, okay, Trump isn't being very Christian, by holding grudges against Spain and so on. And I'm like, yeah, there's a difference between when an individual person is dealing with someone else. There's a difference between how an individual deals with another individual and how nations deal with other nations. It's totally different. And many people who are Christians don't understand those dynamics. They don't. And I get it. And I don't want to call out these people. I don't have the time to do that. All right. I don't have the time to do that. Call out this person who said, oh, that Christians shouldn't do that, and start playing their videos. I don't have time to do that, because all you need to do is pick up your Bible and you see how nations were handled by Israel. And then what Jesus said to his disciples. And then what Paul teaches his own people who he was discipling and leading about governments. Okay, there's a difference between when an individual chooses to conduct themselves in a matter that involves or offense with another person. There's a difference between that and when nations handle issues. It's totally different. So Trump is well within his rights. I think Spain needs to learn a lesson, because they haven't learned the lesson yet. There are horrible travesties happening to the Spanish people right now. I have a friend, okay, not a friend, but I have someone who is in a mastermind with me on YouTube, and she lives in Spain. She's American, but she lives in Spain, and I'm holding my tongue. I don't want to give out more information, but it's a socialist. It's a socialist country that freeloads on the EU. Okay, they are European. They are part of the EU. They get to travel across the EU freely. They have those freedoms, but they are totally destroying their country. They give more rights to migrants than to their own citizens. And that shouldn't be happening. That shouldn't be happening. So I don't want to start pontificating on that. All right. JM says, I'm glad he called them out. Look, Trump is what the world needs at this time. And the world doesn't like it. All right. Trump is the medicine the world needs right now. All right. It's bitter. It's uncomfortable, but it's good for you. He's telling the world the truth, and they don't want to hear it because the truth is difficult. Here's something that you need to understand, and I'll say this and then we'll wrap up. Okay. Like I said, we will come back to this video next time. I'm going to run some tests. The funny thing with these tests is they may work great when I'm doing them in private without an audience watching. Then we go live and everything starts breaking. All right. So you guys, if you pray and believe in the power of prayer, pray for us. Thank you, Intergalactic, for the donation. If you can donate, please donate. It helps out a whole lot. It makes it justifies or vindicates what I'm doing here, by it being profitable to an extent. My internet bills, mortgage, everything, the live stream doesn't scratch it at all. So it's far from profitable right now, but we're just going to keep going because the truth has to get out there somehow. I'm not seeing myself as a martyr or someone who's out there just, fighting the good fight. I'm just a guy using a spare bedroom that he happens to be blessed with in North America, just talking about the news and hanging out with a bunch of people who trust his voice and hang out with him every evening. And I want to say thank you to all of you guys. And as per usual, let's go around the horn. Intergalactic Wrangler, again, thank you so much for your support. You've been here from day one. Intergalactic Wrangler joined on a live stream where I was talking about Trump threatening the Nigerian government about the Islamists murdering Christians in northern Nigeria. That was last year, and he's stuck with the channel till now. Thank you so much, and thank you for your support. Thank you for the super chat. And then JM21999, thank you so much. You've become a part of the family, and we appreciate you, and we're glad that you're here. Gardening is watching, okay? She's watching. I know she's watching. Thank you, Gardening, for all the work you do. She can't engage right now. Okay, we kind of talked before the live stream. Not talked, but we had a DM, and she explained that she wouldn't be able to get into the chat, but she's watching. She's here, and her heart is with you guys, but she just can't chat. So we want to appreciate her. She's amazing. She goes out of her way to be here, to chat, and to do everything to support the channel. Now, let's see. I want to address this. JM says, yes, I will donate something soon myself. Look, I want to thank you guys. I know that there are a bunch of you guys. Now, JM, thank you for the sentiment. Thank you for the desire to donate and to participate. Thank you. I appreciate it. I know that if you could, you would. And a bunch of you out there who are watching, the lurkers. Let me appreciate the lurkers before I forget. All right. The lurkers out there who watch this and hang in the shadows, enjoy the content, but don't want to chat because the internet is a crazy place. All right. So I understand it. And look, thank you for giving us your eyeballs and your ears and your heart, because if you keep coming back again and again, I know your heart is in it. But I know it will take a while for you to feel comfortable enough to post a chat. I think there was did someone chat earlier? I have a feeling that someone else chatted earlier. Yeah, C. Davis said something earlier. Yeah, C. Davis, first time chatter. Don't know if they stayed. All right, they posted this gem of a chat to open up the live stream. Another Democrat who doesn't know what they're talking about. C. Davis, thank you for the first time chat. Like, there are people who post these chats. And the truth is that the opening videos that we use to kind of launch into the video is more like a conversation starter. It's a conversation starter. And sometimes I'm tempted to just play 10 minutes of these videos because there are tons of these videos out on the internet, but it's just time that we don't have. All right. Because if I spend 10 minutes playing those videos of people who can't even answer one question about why they are in opposition to Trump and conservative values, they can't explain why men should be playing in women's sport. They can't explain why gender mutilation is a thing. Okay. Explain it. Make it make sense. Okay. There are thousands of videos out there of these people unable to defend their position. That is why they are so big on censorship. Because if you and I keep talking, it exposes the stupidity of their position. They don't want us to talk. They want to take away our speech. That's why they keep pushing for restricted speech at every turn. And then they turn around and they want to claim that they are the free speech advocates, claiming that President Trump is taking away their free speech. I am putting away the soapbox because I was about to jump on a soapbox and start another rant. So it is our job to just have, like, what we're doing here is just have conversations, all right? And I do want us to, guys, do you know that the original name of the channels was Traffic Conversations? It was. Then I had to rebrand it because it wasn't connecting properly. So I needed something that was more catchy. So Crossroads made the bill. But it's all about conversations, talking about what we're seeing in the world and trying to make sense of it. Now, we've had episodes where there are people who don't vote the same way we do, who came on and wanted to have a conversation, and they pushed back. And we had a cordial conversation, and it was fun. I consider those some of our best episodes, where we have people who don't agree with Trump or the Republican Party, but they're willing to have a good faith conversation. I'm open to it. And speaking of good faith conversations and those conversations, I did promise that we were going to start opening up the live call-in feature. I forgot to do it for 2 days in a row now. So guys, remind me to open up the call-in feature from the very beginning of the show, so that if there's anyone who wants to call in and talk, then let's do that. All right. So we're going to be looking at a broad swathe of topics as usual on the show: news, developing stories, and then for the foreseeable future, we're going to be doing the Spot the Insurrection segment, where we go through videos from January 6th and look for the insurrection that took place. Okay, we're going to spot the insurrection, and then we're going to justify the years of Democrat misinformation and lies, and back them up, because look, they were right all along, and we, the brainless plebs, were wrong. We should have believed the experts who told us that there was an insurrection and we should be done with it, and President Trump should not be in office because he caused an insurrection. I mean, that's what they want us to believe. All right, guys. I want to say thank you to everyone. I've already gone around the horn. I promise to look into whatever it is that's going on. I hope to find something that can justify why this is happening, where we're playing videos and things just slow down, and it's not good for the show. So I'm going to figure something out and then try to fix it. Now, we're live Sundays to Fridays, 9 p.m. Eastern. So tomorrow is Thursday. So we have another show tomorrow, and then we're going to be here again 9 p.m. Eastern tomorrow. Hope to see you on that show. Thank you all so much for your support. JM, Intergalactic Wrangler, C. Davis, thank you all for the comments and the lurkers. Thank you. And thank you for the super chats and donations. Helps us keep the lights on. I appreciate everything you guys have done. And this is, I enjoy hanging out with you guys so much that I keep stepping over time. So thank you so much. And I'll catch you on the next one. Bye-bye.